maybe you're talking about toothpaste, or you're talking about milk, a kind of a brand of milk, or you're talking about some other thing. So it's a tangible product that you can say, okay, I can go to the market to buy this product. But the truth of the matter is that whether it's tangible product or intangible product, there must be a product manager, and there should be also a product marketing manager.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, okay. I thought it was one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you now.
We can hear
Yeah.
you.
I hear you.
Yes. I guess it's a network. Let's just try to hold on a bit so you can have our back, right?
All right.
Yeah, it's a network. She left, so she'll be back shortly. Okay, while we wait for her, I'm not sure why. Even the network is not so good on my end. Not sure why this network is just doing this.
Apologies, people.
Okay, she's back.
I don't know what happened to Wi-Fi. All of a sudden it cut off. So I had to switch to another network. Apologies to that.
Right.
And I don't really
Right.
know at what point you lost me. I don't know what I was saying at the point you lost me, but I think I have to start afresh. Okay, once again, welcome to this session. Okay, I was talking about product management and product marketing. And I said, whether the product is tangible, especially in the case of FMCGs, or the product is intangible, especially in the tech space or in the banking space or whichever space, right? Whether it's tangible or intangible, there should be a product manager, and there should be, mind my word, should be a product marketing manager. Why is this so? Because it is important to separate the two roles. But unfortunately, in most organizations today, you see that a singular person is made to handle both roles. And most times there is this friction that you don't know where to focus, and you don't know what to do part-time and what to let go. Even in some organizations where you have a product manager and a product marketing manager, the question is, who owns the products? Sometimes the product manager will see himself or herself as the product owner, while the product marketing manager, in some other cases, will see himself or herself as the product owner. So the question is, who owns the products? Another question is, who owns the customers? So as we go on today, I believe that we're going to share some of the things that we've learned over the years, and it will also help us as we, grow in this space. Now, before I go on, I wanted to share a story about a man called Neil McElroy. I don't know if there's anybody that heard about this man, Neil McElroy. If you've heard that name before, can you raise your hand? Can you just signify by raising your hand if you know about this man, Neil McElroy? Anybody? All right, let me go on. Now, product management, actually, the term product management was taken from what Neil McElroy introduced back in the days in 1931. As in 1930, he was recruited to manage a particular product in Procter & Gamble. And when he was recruited, there was already another product also owned by Procter & Gamble, and that is soap. So Procter & Gamble had a soap, Ivory, that was already selling, and they were also investing into this product to see it sell the more. Now, McElroy was also employed to manage another product, that is Camay, right? Another product that was developed, another soap actually, by Procter & Gamble still. But when he struggled and struggled and struggled, he could not make a move. Besides, the management was focusing more on the product that is already selling. Now, McElroy had to write a 3-page letter, 100 words, to his management demanding something. And what did he demand? He said, there is no how I can compete favorably with the product Ivory, or there is no way Camay, the soap Camay, can compete favorably with the product Ivory, because management is investing in Ivory, but not in giving the same attention to Camay. And so he wrote to his management and said, it is important that we have what we call brand men. And what will be the role of these brand men? He said, these brand men will be made to manage each product. For example, if you have one brand man for Ivory or one brand man for Camay, Camay soap and Ivory soap will receive the same similar kind of investment. However, the brand man for Camay will run that product. He will manage end to end of that product. He will own that product. He will interact with customers. He will also interact with the network to understand what exactly is happening. He will interact with the customers to know what their problems are, what are their needs, and how this product can be improved. He will also ensure that whatever investment that the management is making into this product should be such that at the end of the day, they will make profit that will cover the costs that they are using to push this product into the market. Likewise, the product manager for Ivory soap. So each of them is supposed to be kind of a competition within the same organization, but they will have the same, they will play on the same playing ground. And at the end of the day, based on how they push their product, they will now be able to see how the product will grow, right? So as time went on, as he presented that his 800 worded letter in 3-page, right? That 3-page letter, when management reviewed that letter, they saw truth in what he was doing and they approved it and they gave him 2 guys. Now, those 2 guys, one was now managing Camay, the other one was managing Ivory. Both of them were now playing on a level ground. So at the end of the day, they were able to see the Camay do well in the market because he has someone, a brand person or a brand man that was in charge of that camel product. Likewise, the ivory had a brand man that was also in charge of that product. Not only that the brand men were in charge of the product, but they also had the salespeople whom they interact with, the salespeople that go into the market to push these products so that people will buy the product. And at the end of the day, Procter & Gamble did very well with their product. And of course, you agree with me that today, their products, even with competition, their products are still selling today, even with competition. So that was how product management started. Back in the days, May 1931. So that concept of brand men, that was what people now took from it, not just from the FMCGs, they also translated it into the tech industry, that today, even tech companies are now using that to derive what is called product managers. But the question is this: do we just stop at product management? Of course, no. Because when you develop a product, you are not developing the product for yourself. That product you are developing, you need to put it in the hand of customers. And who should be in charge of making sure that these products are put in the hand of customers? It is the product marketer or the product marketing manager. But the truth of the matter is that most times you see that there is an overlap between the role of a product manager and the role of a product marketing manager. And that was why I said earlier, sometimes the question is who owns the products. But as we go on, based on what I'm going to be sharing with us today, it will also give you an answer, to that question, who owns the products. If there is no product ownership, that means that that product will lie like an orphan and nobody will take up the responsibility of making sure that that product is what it should be. And remember, when you are talking about products, it is not just like sitting down and then coming up with one kind of product and rolling it out. For you to have a product, there must be a need. So the product is to solve the need of the people that will use that product. Now, moving on, coming back home here now, you remember that before Uber came, we've been using taxis, right? I'm sure a lot of us here have entered yellow taxi. Who hasn't used yellow taxi here? If you have never used yellow taxi, let me see your hand up. You've never used yellow taxi. Okay, I can see that everybody has used yellow taxi, right? And also before the yellow taxi, we had the red cab. I'm sure some younger ones here may not have used the red cab, right? I know. No, but after that, we now had the Uber. Uber came into the picture. Now, how did Uber come into the picture? Because the owners of Uber sat back and watched how taxi system was going. They found out that people were having issues, mobility issues, moving from one place to another. Take, for instance, in Nigeria, if you want to take a yellow taxi at that time, you could stand at a junction waiting for the taxi to come. It's possible that you can stand there for hours and you won't see any taxi coming around that area. Now, the taxi men themselves, they also may not know that you are standing there. And so they may be going to another route, and in that route, they may not even have a customer waiting there. Now, Uber identified that problem, and what did they do? To find a way to connect the users and the drivers, and so they came up with the Uber app. Now, the Uber app was developed by people that have interacted with people, trying to understand the challenges that commuters are having moving from one place to another. And not only that, even in some cases, when you meet a driver, eventually you agree on price that you're going to pay the driver. At the end of the day, by the time you get to your location, is either the driver is complaining that where you took me to is farther than, or it took more hours than what I expected. And at the end of the day, you are arguing with the driver how much you ought to have paid. Or the driver may have charged you, and maybe you are thinking that there might be traffic on the way, and so you agree. But when you get to your location, you notice that all through the movement, there was no single traffic on the way. So you start blaming yourself. Why did I agree to pay such huge amount of money? But Uber came having identified this problem, so they were able to build the Uber app. Now, when they build the Uber app, of course, they cannot use it by themselves. They need to connect to people. They need to connect to people that will use the Uber to ride on the Uber. They also need to connect to the drivers because they didn't own cars of their own. They needed to connect to the driver. And that is where the product marketing come into play. If you look at Uber, the way their recruitment goes, you see that when they are recruiting, when they are talking about product management, they are looking at someone that is tech savvy, someone someone that pays attention to detail, someone that is able to go for, someone that is able to analyze the data and able to make informed decision for the company. So that's what they are looking at for product management. Now, if they're looking at their product marketing, they are looking at someone that will, be in charge of go-to-market strategy. So if you look at it, you see that for product management, you're talking about someone that will be able to build the product that will be usable by the customers. While product marketing, you're talking about somebody that will be in charge of go-to-market strategy, someone that will be in charge of market analysis, someone that will be in charge of competitive analysis and be able to put this data together and advise the product managers. Now, another scenario or another use case is a company called Drift. Drift is another company as well that is into communications. Now, what did they do? They found out that people are having issues, especially the e-commerce. They found out that for e-commerce, of course, I'm sure that most of us have bought things online. Now, what are the issues that we're having with e-commerce today is that sometimes what you ordered is different from what you got. Who has experienced that before? For me, I have experienced it. I have experienced it several times that what you ordered is different from what you got. Now, this Drift company, they found out that why there is that issue is because there is no communication. And of course, you agree with me today that most times when we're buying something online, there is no communication. All you do is that you go online to the e-commerce site of the particular customer, or you go to Jumia or Konga or the rest of them, and then you click on what you want and make your payment, waiting at the mercy of the company. Let them send you what you ordered for. Now, this company, Drift, they found out that people are having issues with this kind of, with transactions between the buyers and the sellers. So they came up with a solution. That solution is a communication solution that will be able to help buyers to interact with those sellers and to ensure that they get the actual product that they intend to buy, not to have the experience of what I ordered is different from what I got. Now, having seen that problem, remember what I said, to have a product, there must be a problem. Having identified that problem, they still need that solution that they built, in this case, is a product as well, but is an intangible product. Is a product because it has to solve a problem in the market. Now, having created that product, what did they do? They also need someone that will manage that product, and they need someone that will also be in charge of marketing of the product. However, if you look at the Uber scenario I painted earlier, Uber is more interested, when they are talking about product manager, is more interested in someone that is techie, more interested in someone that will analyze data, more interested in someone that will communicate with the engineers based on the analysis of the data. But if you look at Drift, they are more interested in someone that will be speaking one-on-one with the customers to hear from the customers what their issues are. If you also look at them, you see that Drift is also interested in someone that will be speaking with the customer to know what the issues of the customers are. They are interested in someone that will also go with them, go with the marketers for calls. They are interested in someone that will help to push sales. So if you look at it, you see that different companies actually have different definitions. That's why I'm trying to give us this background. Different companies have different definitions of what a product manager is and what a product marketing manager is. But notwithstanding, there are basic things that we need to know what actually a product manager should be expected to do and what a product marketing manager is expected to do. Now, going forward, based on what I have written here, for product management, the main thing about product manager is that the product manager defines the product vision. The product manager defines the product vision, but I need to state it here that in some cases, you might not be the one that will come up initially with that vision. It might be that your management might come up with that vision. It might be that that vision is even coming from the tech people. Where you are not a tech product manager. It might be that that vision is coming from technology or from the engineers. Let me rather use that word. It might be that it's coming from the engineers, but the truth is that you as a product manager owns that product. You own the product, the end-to-end life cycle of that product is with you. And that means that if you are the product owner, it means that the vision, you define the product vision. You define the strategy that you're going to go with for that product to be pushed into the market. You define the roadmap. What are the things that you need to do to make sure that the product meets the needs of the people? You, as the product manager, will also identify the pain points of the customer, especially where the product is already existing, even while the product has been built. And that's thankfully these days, we are no longer doing, most of the product development these days is no longer a waterfall strategy. Most of the product development now is agile. We are using agile now. And in that case, it means that you don't need to build the product from beginning to the end before you launch. That's why we have what is called minimum viable product, where you build with minimum features based on the information you've gathered from your interaction with customers or from what you have identified as the need of the customer. And then you build that product, and then with that, you launch it into the market. Launching it into the market, it means that your ears are still open to hear what feedback that you could get from the customers, what are their pain points, and what are the metrics that you could gather to help in pushing that product or to add more features to that product to make it a full, mature product to meet the needs of the customers. So like I said, the product manager owns the product from beginning to the end. Product manager interacts with the engineers, interacts with the sales, interacts with management, interacts with everyone that has to do with the product to ensure that you put together a product that could be used by customers. Can you hear me? Somebody speaking at the back.
You are unmuted. Kindly mute yourself. Alliance Legal, can you hear me? Okay, you can go ahead, ma'am.
All right, thank you very much. So, like I was saying, so the product manager owns end-to-end of that product. The product vision, the strategy, the roadmap, the making sure that the product at the end of the day is usable. making sure that the product is usable by the customers, making sure that the product meets the needs of the customers, making sure that the product is feasible. So what do I mean by feasible? Not just I remember there was a time we wanted to launch a particular product, we wanted to launch a particular product, but at that time, the market was not ripe for that product. And if we should invest so much into that product and eventually launch it, because the market was not ripe, it will be difficult for customers to adopt that product and at the end of the day, use it. So at that time, the feasibility of that product is or was questionable, and so we could not move forward, right? So the product manager should also understand what is happening in the market situation, and understand the competitive analysis or what competition is doing, to be able to know the product that you're pushing into the market and the product that customers will also accept. You don't stop there. The product manager also, one thing that is important that the product manager should note is that for engineers to build that product, remember, you need to communicate to them clearly, such that it's not at the end of the day, when you have told them what you want them to build, when they release the product, it makes no sense to the customer. So you are in between the customer who is going to use the product and the engineers who are going to build the product. So you must be able to hear clearly from customer end and communicate clearly to the engineers who are building that product. And that is why you should also be part of quality assurance. And you should also be part of the UATs, that's user acceptance test. And that's why you see, before a product is launched, there's something that is called quality assurance, to make sure that the quality of the product meets what is requested for. And again, there's something that is called user acceptance test, to make sure that when you are testing the product, right, with that's internal stakeholders test the product, you make sure that all the requirements that you listed at the point of documenting the functionality of that product is captured and is taken care of, and they all passed the test before you finally release the product for piloting. And in this case, is a controlled number of people that will be allowed to carry out, live usage or live tests of those products, to make sure that the product is okay before releasing it to the entire market. So the product manager is also supposed to be involved with all these things before the product is released into the market. And again, like I said, you are the ear of the customers. You are the ear of the customer. So you should place yourself also as a customer, to make sure that as the engineers are doing, most times the engineers don't really understand the feelings of the market. So you are the one that will be able to communicate that to engineers, to be able to make sure that the product is designed in such a way that it will be acceptable by the customers. And remember, you are not just there to build products. So you are also there to make sure that the product is also profitable to the organization. Remember what I said about McElroy, when he wrote to his management and requested for brand men to be given to him to be in charge of the product. One of the things he stated is that as they are investing into those products, they should also ensure that the money they are investing, at the end of the day, that the product will yield such revenue that it should be more than the amount that is invested. And so as a product manager, you should also ensure the profitability of that product. So how do you ensure the profitability? That's where you have a handshake with the product marketing manager to ensure that the product that you are rolling out, you are carrying along the product marketing manager to make sure that they understand the values of the product. Because if there is no value, customers will not buy the product. And even if there is value and the product marketing team don't understand the value, they won't be able to sell the product. So you need to carry along the product marketing manager, ensure that the product marketing manager understands the value, understand the product vision, understand what you want to achieve, understand where you are heading to, the mission and the vision of that product. The product marketing manager needs to understand that. But in terms of product ownership, it is the product manager that owns the product. However, you need to work hand in hand with the product marketing manager. Now, talking about the product marketing manager, what then is his role? If product manager is expected to do all these things, what then is the role of a product marketing manager? As the word goes, marketing. And when you're talking about marketing, you're talking about placing that product in the hand of the end users. And so what does the product marketing manager do? Number one is that he's in charge of the sales team. He's in charge of the sales team. And again, he is in charge of the go-to-market strategy of that product. And when you are talking about go-to-market strategy, it's not just about picking the product and running. No. If it is about picking the product and running, that means you don't need to know anything about the product. And when when customers ask you questions about the product, you say, oh, I don't know. I need to go back to the office and ask them. And maybe when you get back to the office, tell them, oh, your product is not working. Customers are rejecting this product. Blah, 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 blah. No. The product marketing manager ought to also be involved in the product development. In as much as you are not the one that practically owns the product, but you should be involved in the product development. You should also be involved because when you understand the product, if you understand the product vision and understand the strategy of your organization, you will be able to put together the strategy you will use to push this product into the market. Now, the product marketing manager should be thinking about, how do I ensure that this product, that customers buy into it? How do I ensure that customers adopt my product? And so if you are thinking about that, what should be running through your mind is, how do I package these products such that when customers see my product and see that of competition, they would rather go for my own? What are those things that I can put together to attract customers to buy my product? In that case, you're talking about packaging. You're talking about how to carry out your campaigns. You're talking about even the content of your campaign. You're talking about your promotions. How do I promote this product so that when customers hear the name of this product, they will go for my product rather than others? Look at Coca-Cola. We have other Coke brands today in Nigeria, but Coca-Cola has done so well that the name Coca-Cola is everywhere. And if you taste Coca-Cola and taste other ones, not that other ones are not good though, but Coca-Cola has gone through the wide width and breadth of this country. In fact, when I was in university, I went for a mission. We went out for a mission, right? A religious trip. We went for a mission outreach into one of the deep villages in Enugu State. In that place, most people there, you will see grown men and grown women not wearing clothes. All they do is that they tie something across their waist just to cover up a bit, right? In that village, you see that even the water they drink, they go to their stream. Inside that stream, they bathe. Inside that stream, they do all manner of things. They wash and everything. And at the end of the day, they'll still go to that stream to collect water and allow it to settle, and they drink. It's still that water they use to cook their food. Is that water that they drink from. But do you know one shocking thing? Coca-Cola is present in that location. In that village, there is Coca-Cola there. And I kept on asking myself, these people that do not wear clothes, how come Coca-Cola is able to come into this village? It is the work of the marketer. It's the work of the marketing manager to identify locations where that product can enter. How was he able to convince these people that Coca-Cola is good for them? It's about your content creation. What do you tell your customer? How do you package your story? How do you package your story that when customers hear this story, they will have nothing else to do but to buy your product? That is the thinking of the marketing manager. The marketing manager also is the eye of the business, in the sense that the marketing manager will also monitor what is happening about his product, and also hear from the customer, feedback from the customer, and then pass it back to the product manager. So there are some situations that some product managers are not allowed to interact with the customers. So where product managers are not allowed to interact with the customers because they only sit in the office and then design and look at the product and all, they work hand in hand with the marketing managers to ensure that they get this feedback from the marketing managers, which they will interpret and pass it on to the development team or the engineers for product upgrade. The marketing manager also is involved with ensuring that the sales team, remember what I said earlier, he manages the sales team. So he ensures that he passes clear value proposition to the sales team. But how does he get that value proposition? Is from the from the product manager, because it's the product manager that owns the product, that understands the vision and the value that the product is bringing into the market. So the product manager should pass that information to the product marketing manager. But it's not just by communicating, by writing, or by sitting down to discuss. And that is why the product marketing manager is also part of the development. The development of the product, because if he is part of the development of the product, he will understand the value that is being created and pass it on to the sales team who run with it in the market. So you see that there is some sort of overlap between what product manager does and what product marketing manager does. But in all, it is also clear that the product manager, his main focus is on the usability of that product. Product manager's focus is more on the usability of the product, while product marketing manager, his focus is on the sellability of the product. What do I mean? The product manager's focus is on the usability, to make sure that the product that we are designing, the product we are rolling out, is something that customers can use, meets the needs of the customer. Because if it doesn't meet the need of the customer, of course, the customer that cannot use it. And if the product solves the problem of the customer, of course, the customer will use the product, right? And if customer uses the product, it drives profitability for the company. But on the product marketing manager side, well, like I said, his focus is on the sellability of the product. So you are thinking, the company has invested in developing this product. And so I must drive this product into the market to make sure that people buy my product. Because he knows that the more of these products that he sells, the more revenue he generates for his company. So his attention and his focus, major focus, is on the sellability of the product. How do I sell this product? How do I drive the sale of this product? How do I measure performance of this product in the market? How do I compare my product with that of competition? How do I make sure that customers do not drop my product and go for an alternative? How do I make sure that even when there is an alternative, I could also borrow ideas from them and then push it to the product team to ensure that we beef up our product, or that we improve on our product and give customers what they want? Because the truth is, if you have a product today that customers are using today, and at the end of the day, the taste of the customer changes, and they see another product that meets their taste, what happens? They will drop your product and move on. And that is why the product marketing manager must always interact with the market to understand what is happening in the market, understand the opportunities that you have, and understand the threats, especially around the competition, understand what is happening, understand when the taste of the customers are changing, when they are trying to move to something else, and then pass it on back to the product managers to be able to put it together to develop a product that customers will use. Remember what I said, product managers' focus is more on the usability of the product, while the product marketing managers' focus is more on the sellability of the product. However, both of them must drive the profitability of that product, because if the product is not used by customers, or if the product is not sold to the customer, the organization will not generate revenue and they will not make profits. Now, concluding, I would say that in some organizations today, you see that the role of a product manager and the role of a product marketing manager is merged. And so most times you see yourself that even though you are recruited as a product manager, you are also expected to do the work of a product marketing manager. And so because of that, it's also important that we master some of the skills that we need to make sure that we drive or that we carry out our job functions as expected from our management. And some of those skills is that you must have strong communication, collaboration, and negotiation skills. Remember what I said, the ear of the customers and the voice of the customers. You hear from the customer and you communicate to the engineers. So when you are listening to the customers, you are their ear. And when you are communicating to the development team or to the engineers, you are the voice of the customer. So you must have strong communication skill. You must have strong collaboration skill. You can't do it alone without the stakeholders. You can't do it alone. You must have the buy-in of management. You must have the buy-in of even the engineers and the development team, the keywords and all that. You must put them together to be able to develop that product. Even when you are the product manager or the product marketing manager, you must be able to collaborate. For example, if you're coming from the field and you are hearing feedback from customers, if you do not collaborate well, you will not be able to communicate well that feedback you're getting, and you will not be able to get the buy-in of the stakeholders to be able to improve on the features of that product. You must also have a strong negotiation skill. Sometimes you see that the development team, they are swamped. They may not have enough time to listen to you, especially where you want to do some upgrades or you want to do some corrections and all. You must be able to negotiate with them to be able to accommodate, especially where the product is already in the market, the product has been rolled out in the market. You must be able to negotiate with them to be able to have them to create room for such updates that you want to do on the products, right? And again, not only that, while you are also selling the products to the customers, you must also be able to negotiate with them, because truth be told, there is no product that 100% meets the needs of the customers. However, if it means a reasonable percentage of their needs, customers will be willing to buy. And so you'll be able to negotiate with them for them to be able to look away from those areas that you are not meeting, but concentrate on the value you are bringing on the table. You must be able to influence the stakeholders. I've talked about that when I was talking about collaboration and even in negotiation. You must be able to influence the stakeholders, while driving the product. And you must be flexible. You must be flexible enough. You must be flexible. You must not have a fixed mindset. The last time when I spoke with us, I talked about the growth mindset and the fixed mindset. You must have a growth mindset. You must be flexible enough, and you must be conscious of your time as well in meeting the needs of customers, and also to ensure that you unlock maximum impact with the product you are bringing. Last but not the least, you must be customer obsessed. Because if you are not customer obsessed, your ear will not be on the ground to hear the pain points of these your customers. And even when you hear it, you may not be able to interpret it well for it to be able to make sense to the engineering team. You must be customer obsessed so that you will be able, remember I said, you are the ear of the customer and you are the voice of the customer. So you must put yourself in the shoe of the customer. You must have empathy towards the customers to be able to give qualitative feedback and also to gather the necessary numbers and the matrices that you need to be able to review your product's performance and also compare it to what is happening in the market, especially around competition or around alternative products. So this is what I have for us today. I want to believe that I've been able to communicate a little to, the difference between the product manager and product marketing manager. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you so much. I mean, you made it so simple, and the fact that you just blew my mind. Thank you so much for this awesome session. It's very insightful. Thank you so much. Somebody said my pen has been busy. Of course, my pen has also been busy. I mean, right. Thank you so much. So, guys, do we have questions for Mrs. Chinyere? If we have questions, do let us raise our hands so that we can ask questions before we call it an evening. I mean, it's been very, very insightful evening for me, right? Yes. Mohammed Buba, are you raising your hand? Okay. I'll take that as a mistake or something. Right. Okay. We have Oladipo Adeko. All right. Oladipo, please unmute yourself. Let's have your question.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ma. I wanted to ask two questions. The first one is a product manager or UX researcher. How can they collaborate with product marketer to get feedback on how they can develop the product better in terms of usability? Then the second one, how do you measure, what metrics is used to determine a good product marketing manager? Those are my two questions.
Okay, thank you very much, Oladipo. If I got your questions clearly, you are asking the UX researcher, that's the user experience researcher, right? How do they collaborate with the product manager, right?
Product marketer.
Oh, product marketer. Okay,
Yes.
how do they interact with the product marketer? Okay, I'll put it this way, that the truth is that, like I said, the product manager is the one that owns the product. Is the product manager that kind of brings all the stakeholders together, right? If the product manager is interacting with the product marketers effectively and also interacting with other internal stakeholders like the US that you talked about effectively, the product marketer will be able to communicate some of the issues that they are experiencing in the market to the product marketing, to the product manager, as well as, the product manager will also communicate that to the UX guys. However, remember that there are product review sessions. There are product review sessions, which is not just between the product manager and the development team, right? So during that product review session, of which, of course, the product marketing manager is also part of the review session, he can also speak about some of those feedback that they are getting from the market, and the UX person can pick it from there and implement. Of course, there is also what is called change management, right? So before even the UX person makes that change, even after the review session, right, the product manager is expected to document whatever that is going to be changed on that product. You do not have the right to make any change on the product without the concurrence of the product manager, because he is the one that owns the product. In a real sense, right, the UX person no matter how beautiful he thinks that will look, it is the product manager that understands what his customer really wants. And so they have to be in alignment. They must come to agreement before that kind of change is made. So during product review, all these things are clearly discussed, and then the product manager will document it and pass it on to the engineering team or the UX people before any changes are made. Did I answer you for that one?
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, ma'am. The second one is the metric for a product marketer. How do you know a product marketer is doing?
Okay, the product marketers most times are measured by the numbers. And more commonly, the matrices that are used in measuring product marketers is one, how many of these products, how many customers have subscribed to these products, especially when you're talking about the tech product, right? You know, how many customers have subscribed to this product? Two, how many customers are using the product? So in this case, you're talking about activity of the customer's activity of the product. Three, what volume of transactions pass through this product, right? Four, what volume, when by volume I'm talking about counts, right? Then four, you're talking about what value has passed through this product. And then five, how much income have we made? How much revenue have we made from this product? And again, it's not just about revenue. So when you generate the revenue, you also compare it to the cost, but that one is more on the product manager. So if you generate revenue, the product manager who is in charge of the product will also compare how much have we invested into this product. This revenue that we are generating, does it cover the cost of the product? If it does not cover the cost of the product, that means we're not doing well, irrespective of how the number of transactions that have passed through that product, irrespective of the value of transaction that has passed through. If the revenue does not exceed the amount invested, that means you're not doing well. So these are the basic matrices that are used. Again, you are also looking at what is competition doing, because even if you feel that you are doing well, you can also compare yourself to what competition is doing, right? If you are far below what competition is doing, that means you're not doing so well. You need to also step up your game to be able to compete well with what others are offering. I believe I've answered you.
Thank you very much. Yes, I like the last one. What is competition doing? That's the best one for me. Thanks for that gift, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for that one. Let's have Dabi Chiku. Hi, Dabi. Dabi Chiku, can you hear me? Please go ahead. You are unmuted. Can you guys hear me? I believe you guys can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Right. Dabi Chiku, are you there? Okay, I guess she's having network issues because she tried to unmute. Right. Thank you very much, Ma, for this amazing session. We would have taken Dabi Chiku's question before we call it a night. I mean, we're fast into our time, right? So I don't know if you guys have more questions for us, for Mrs. Chinyere. Please do well to raise your hand if you have questions. Okay, Alliance Legal, please go ahead.
Good evening, Ms. Chinyere, and good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay, the question I want to ask, how, okay, we're looking about transitioning. I'm a lawyer with years of experience. I want to know how it's, how possible it is if I want to transit into the product management space. That's just my question. Thank you.
Transitioning into product management space. Okay, the truth is that You mustn't be you mustn't have studied computer to be in product management. I'll use myself as an example. I never studied anything computer, right? But along my career line, I think I've shared this before, so I don't need to go into detail again. I found myself in product management, and it's been great all the way, right? So you mustn't have studied engineering or studied computer science or things like that to be in product management. First of all, it's your passion. If you have identified that passion, the next thing is that do not give up. Do not give up. Just be true to your passion, right? And the good thing is that there are a lot of information online that you can get, right? So you equip yourself with a lot of information. Get to understand the terminologies when we're talking about product management, right? Get to understand the terminologies, because you are going to be interacting with the tech guys. And if you don't speak their language, or if you don't use their register, when they mention some things, maybe when they talk about APIs, when they talk about different things, you will not be able to flow, okay? You won't be able to flow. So you need to get to learn some of these terminologies and how they work, where they are applied. And again, you might also, as a lawyer, look for a company that is into product, that is into a product. Like I said, it mustn't be a tangible product. It could be an intangible product. And of course, today we have a lot of fintechs out there, So you could also penetrate, any of the companies that are into product development, right? So if you find yourself there, even if it's as a lawyer, try to interact more with the product guys. When you interact with them, it will make more sense to you, and you get to understand it better. Try to interact with them and explore what is happening. And so as you are exploring all this, you will now be able to confirm within yourself whether this is actually your passion, right? Because sometimes we feel that we are passionate about something, and at the end of the day, it might not really be what we want. So you have to interact with the people, understand what they do, understand their jargons, and then convince yourself that this is actually where I want to play. And then once you do that, you could start with product marketing. Because we can start with product marketing, not necessarily being the product marketing manager, but to be in the sales. Now, when you are a product marketer, of course, you're going to go through some training where they will let you know, or they will train you on the products, the features of the product, the values of the product, how customers can use these products and all. So when you are now selling these products to customers, you are beginning to understand it better, because you are now using the product, you are understanding it better. And so as time goes on, you will see yourself gradually navigate deeper into it. Before you know it, you become a product manager. That is what I can say in that regard.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you very much, Ma, for that one. Also, in addition to what Mrs. Chinyere said, you can also just decide to take a structured program in product management, and Innova Lab Institute is the right place for that, right? That said, okay, I would like us to do something, right? I would like us to go to our social media to go ahead and, of course, Mrs. Chinyere has, shared so much, with us, right? She has shared a whole lot of things with us, and it's just important that, all of these things that we have learned for free, we can also, share it with other people. So go to your social media, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, tag Innova Lab, and, tag Mrs. Chinyere on our socials as well. Mrs. Chinyere on LinkedIn is Yes, on LinkedIn, she's Chinyere Tony-Eke, and on Twitter, she's Berry 22, right? So you can go ahead, share all the things that you have learned, and yes, let other people learn from you as well, just the way you have learned from Mrs. Chinyere, right? Also, yes, thank you very much for sharing that in the chat box, ma. Also, I'll be dropping a link shortly. If you are not in InnovaLab community, it's a place that you should be in, right? It's just a place where we give support to ourselves.
All right, bye everyone.
Oh, I was talking and I didn't know that I was muted, right? Yes. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't know I was muted. Sorry, sorry, sorry. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Mrs. Chinyere Tony-Eke, for this session. Um, yes, it's been an insightful one. I bring greetings from the um the old team, the Innova Lab team. I said thank you very much. Yes, we appreciate you. Thank you for always doing justice to the topics that you share with us. It's always insightful. Thank you so much, ma'am. We appreciate you. Right. If
Thank you
anyone,
very much for having me.
yes, ma'am. If anyone Edozie, you were removed from the group. How do you join back? Well, I guess this is like something that we always do in the community. We like remove inactive people. But then I'll just drop my number in the chat box, right? So you can just reach me if I'm able to join the community. So you can just reach me so that I'll manually add you back, because if you try to join um through the link, you might not get access to join back. So that's my number in the chat box. Just send me a DM on WhatsApp. Tell me to add you to the InnovaLab community if you're unable to use the link. But if you're able to use the link, I'll advise that you go through the link first. But if you're able to use the link, that's fine. If you're unable to use the link, just send me a DM so that you can be added to the community. All right. Thank you guys for today's for your questions, for your feedbacks. Yes, thank you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. If you're unable to use the link, please send me a chat.
Yeah, thank you.